coming up on the Life is the Future podcast.
When you're really stressed out, you don't perform as well in academics and your sport. So, you're just going to not like everything.
Sometimes it can get really overwhelming, or if you're not playing good in either of your sports and you're not doing good on tests, and you can be like, how do I do all this? How do I do it all at once? And balancing your social life too, and hanging out with your friends and your family. It can be overwhelming. You just need to figure out how to balance it all out.
Hey, this is Scott Todnam, and you're listening to the Life is the Future podcast, a podcast for health education, middle school, and life in general. It's season 8 of our podcast. That's 8 school years of allowing 8th graders to interview their peers about all topics in teenage life. In our introduction episode, we met our 4 hosts for the school year, Maddie, Arbaaz, Menashe, and Piper, and they're going to flip-flop episodes all school year until May. As our first episodes get going, make sure to give them a chance to work through some of that shy and nervous energy, maybe even some awkward giggles, as they become leaders and become more natural in front of the camera and the microphone. Without any further ado, here's 8th graders Maddie and Arbaaz as they interview classmates Carys and Mason. I'll be back at the end to wrap some things up. For now, enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to Life is the Future podcast. It's Maddie and Arbaaz. Today we have Mason and Carys. Carys, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I play soccer and volleyball.
Mason.
I play baseball, a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball, and some soccer.
So today we're going to talk about balancing life as a student athlete. As life as a student athlete, does life seem to get a little bit overwhelming with your sport and with school? How does it deal with academics? How do you keep everything in track?
It's not that hard. Doing your sport, if you're doing it before you do homework, it's not as bad as when you're doing homework and then straight to your sport. Because you're stressed about homework and then you got to go straight to sport, and then you're just stressed up, and then you don't perform as well.
I think it is overwhelming because I feel there's not a lot of time to do it all. For me, I have volleyball, and then I go straight to soccer, and then I have to eat dinner, and I don't have time to do my homework.
Definitely, what I do is I sort of create a schedule that I follow by every day, and I usually try to focus on my studies and then go right to my sport. Study in the morning, go to my sport in the afternoon, study again at night.
All right. Do you guys think having a busy schedule can affect academic and your athletic abilities? Why would you say that?
Your performance?
Yeah.
I feel if you're stressed, if you're have so much to do, sports and stuff, I feel it will affect your performance because you're overwhelmed and stressed, and that's if you're thinking about your test or your homework that you have to do while you're playing, you're gonna be stressed about it.
I agree with Carys. Yeah.
If as a student athlete, as life you get pressure from both sides, both from your teachers and from parents. You got to perform well. How do you guys deal with that pressure, and how do you guys deal with that stress? Do you guys have something you do, something fun you like to do other than your sport?
Well, when I'm not doing anything, I usually play video games or just go outside with my friends. That helps me relieve a lot of my stress from sports, homework, school, all that.
I usually hang out with my friends because I feel that kind of distracts me from.
As a student athlete, would you guys say you guys prioritize the academic side or the athletic side of your life?
I think I prioritize the athletic side more because I feel there's more expectations from my coach than my teachers.
I prioritize the academic part because if I get good grades and I'm good at my sport, then I could get a scholarship to go to a good school and maintain my good grades and maintain the scholarship that I have.
In your future, would you guys say you want better athletics or academics for your future? For college, maybe job? What would you guys say you want to focus more on?
Athletics. I love my sports.
Which sport?
My favorite sport's baseball, but yeah. So I prioritize baseball for sure. And I'd say, just yeah, baseball.
I feel like athletics too, but I feel like there has to be some academic in it, just like mostly sports, because I feel like that's what I like more.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So, as a student athlete, you guys do have a lot of things you guys like have to do, right? You have to go to practice, you got to go to your games, you got to study for tests, got to do all that. How do you think adults or parents, like especially or older people around you, how do you think they could help you manage that type of stress, rather than you guys just going out, go hang out with your friends? Like, how do you think your parents could help to like sort of ease a little bit of the stress, take some of the weight off your shoulders?
I feel like if like you're in a bad mood or something, like after a long day of like just like school and sports, I feel like they can like try to understand, or like maybe like obviously they have work, but like try to like have stuff ready for you, like dinner.
I feel like they could talk to you and maybe help you with some homework, help you study, and maybe if you want to do your sport, they can help you practice and get better at that sport.
Overall, how do you guys think that your sports are doing, and how do you think your academics are doing?
I'd say I'm doing a little bit better in my sport right now, but the academics part, it'll get better throughout the year.
I feel like once volleyball ends, like I'll be doing better at like soccer, but right now my academics and sports are like fine.
So, I've noticed that both of you guys are multi-sport athletes, right? You play a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball, and your main sport's baseball. And Carys, you play volleyball and you play soccer. Out of those sports, which of those do you guys think you want to focus more on? Like, if you had to pick one sport to focus on, which one would it be?
100% baseball. I mean, I've played baseball since I was like 4 years old, and it's just, loved baseball for my whole life. Watch it all the time, learn a lot through watching it.
Carys?
Probably soccer, because I've also been playing soccer longer, but like with school volleyball, I feel like I start to like it more. Not like it more, but I enjoy it more than like soccer, because soccer gets like stressful, but like I want to focus more on soccer and volleyball.
How would you guys like balance like being good at both academics and athletics? How would you guys balance that together?
I feel like putting the work in for both, so like studying and practicing your sport.
I think splitting up your time, like having a good maintained schedule, would help. Like, you study for an hour, you practice your sport for an hour, like that type of thing.
As you guys get older, more responsibilities have been brought upon you, right? Your responsibilities as an 8th grader are not the same as you were in 6th grade or 7th grade, right? As you guys get older, how do you think you're going to be able to balance those two opposing factors? Because you spend a lot of time at school, you spend a lot of time on your sport. How do you think as you get older you'll be able to handle the stress?
I think just having some time to yourself, think about what you want to do, would help a lot of people manage playing sport and academics at the same time.
I feel like putting like a schedule, like making sure I'm prioritizing the right things, like with sports and academics.
So how do you guys feel about like practicing your sport as you study for a test, right? Because as you get older, a lot of times parents, especially like many adults, like, oh, you got to focus on academics, you got to go do good grades in high school, go do good grades in college, you have to go get a good job. How do you guys sort of deal with that sort of social pressure from your parents and from friends too? It's like, oh, why aren't you playing good in the sport? Why aren't you hitting the ball correctly? Why aren't you like scoring correctly? How do you guys deal with the social aspect of the stress?
I feel like you kind of have to you have to figure out how to balance it all, like with studying for tests and just like practicing your sport, and then like also balancing like social, like talking to your friends and hanging out with them. Because if you're just focusing on like your sport and your tests and you're not like engaging with your friends at all, it'll kind of like mess up your relationships with them. And then
I'd say you have to have some free time to yourself and not focus on only academics and sports. You have to also make time for yourself and explore the outside world and just learn more about everything else.
Would you guys say for how long school lasts, you think that's fair to student athletes? For people who have like 2-hour practices, maybe even 3 hours depending on the sport, would you say that's fair with the 6 hours we already have at school? Would you say that's fair to balance out time?
I think it's fair because we have to get our academic skills in, and it takes more time for all the teachers to teach us about every single subject that you need to know. In your sports, there's not as much you need to learn. It's more you just keep practicing what you already know and get better at that sport.
I feel like the hours in school are fair, but I feel like some teachers need to like think about how students have like sports after school and like with the amount of homework they give. Like obviously they give homework, but like if you're giving like hours of homework and the like person doesn't have time to do it, and then they're like mad at them when they don't do it, like they kind of need to think about their side.
But in their perspective. Yeah.
I feel like definitely like teachers do sort of, they look at it from their own perspective. Like, oh, especially like a lot of teachers will be like, oh, I took the same test you guys did and I was able to do it in the amount of time. But it takes, everyone else learns differently, and I just feel like if teachers start to understand that not everyone's the same and not everyone learns the same, we're going to have like a better schedule. People are going to be able to run smoother. Like there's people who are in accelerated classes, there's people who's not. The people in accelerated classes, they can't just assume, oh, you're in accelerated classes, you should be able to work faster, work harder. Like it's easier for you. You put me in an accelerated class to slow my learning down to an extent. You put me in a higher rated class, higher math, higher ELA, I'm learning higher level stuff, so it's going to take me the same amount of time someone who's in regular is taking to learn like regular classes, like 8th grade or 7th grade or 6th grade.
And then do you guys think that being a student athlete could also affect your mental health in some ways? And if so, what ways do you think it could affect your mental health?
I think it could stress you out like a lot, and then when you're really stressed out, you don't perform as well in academics and your sport. So like you're just going to not like everything and just
I feel like it can, because like sometimes it can get really overwhelming, or if you're like not playing good in either of your sports and you're not doing good on tests, and you can be like how do I do all this, like how do I do it all at once, and like balancing like your social life too, and like hanging out with your friends and your family. Like it can be overwhelming. You just need to figure out like how to balance it all out.
And I think that's a pretty good closing. And is there anything else you guys like to add?
Like any advice for other student athletes or parents of student athletes?
No.
So, this is Life is a Future podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. You have a great rest of your day.
All right, there it is. Thanks to Carys and Mason for joining Maddie and Arbaaz this week as we got started in their solo episodes of the Life is the Future podcast. You can see that this is still a new experience for our 8th graders, and I'm sure they're going to become way more natural as our season and episodes progress. There were some great questions in there about life balance, balancing sports and academics, any extracurriculars, along with schoolwork. It's always a timely topic. It's one that comes up nearly every single school year, and it's definitely relevant to our teens today. Make sure to tune in next time as Piper and Menashe take over and interview 2 new classmates on the Life is the Future podcast. As always, make sure you've subscribed so you can stay up to date with our progress, and thanks for tuning in.